Hi everyone, this is Dr. Keith Mirante from Coastal Chiropractic and Wellness in Madison, Connecticut. And I wanted to bring a tip to you as we are in the fall and entering the winter season of the year to talk about raking leaves, fall cleanup, and winter shoveling season. And so this is one of the most common times of the year for injuries to the low back or disc herniations, disc bulges, or sciatica to occur in our bodies. And there's a very specific reason for that. And the reason for that is, when we fall asleep at night, these disc spaces, these jelly spaces between the bones of our spine, they expand and they open up and they draw fluid into the disc spaces. Now, when we get vertical in the morning time and we stand up, the load of our torso starts to push on these disc spaces. They slowly disperse fluid out of these, and the disc spaces are a little bit more pliable. In the morning time is the time when you first get out of bed. Those first 30 minutes is when these disc spaces are the most filled with fluid. And what occurs is that when you bend, twist, or rotate, you can push this disc out, which affects this nerve root. That's called the disc bulge or disc herniation. It's commonly referred to as when someone has sciatic symptoms or sharp pains in the low back, or you see someone that they say it travels down their leg. That's typically what occurs. Now, the most common time this happens is not only when someone bends, but it also when they include a rotational motion into their torso, because what happens is that makes this disc space the most vulnerable, not only when you bend, but when you add a rotational component to it. That's when you're most likely to have a disc bulge or herniation occur. So what activities does this occur in? Things like raking leaves, because there's a rotation component to it. Shoveling snow, you're bending over and you're rotating at the same time. So those two movements are really common to flare up and injure disc space. And of course, we want to do anything possible to avoid that. So some things that we can do personally. I always recommend at least be weight bearing for 30 minutes before you start to go out and shovel snow. Most of us, we wake up, first thing we do, we throw on our boots, we go outside, and we're going to shovel snow in the morning. That's when you're the most vulnerable. Wait at least 30 minutes. Preferably if you have a big exercise ball or an air cushion, sit on one of those. Sway back and forth, side to side, forward and backwards, do some slight rotational work. Get the disc spaces moving, get them fluid. You can also just do a little walking beforehand or something just to elevate our heart rate, and of course some stretching, some torso rotations, something to get these disc spaces nice and warm and ready for the activity they're about to encounter. And if in the unfortunate event that this does occur, and someone does injure the low back or have sciatica, this is one of the things that we evaluate and we take care of on a regular basis. So that's where we do our best work. So if you know anyone that has that, there unfortunately occurs to, send them on in. We'll do a very thorough evaluation, take an X-ray, a motion study X-ray to really get in there and find out what was the cause of that in the first place. Again, my name is Dr. Keith Mirante, and hope you have a great day.